So for the better part of the last 7 months, I have, on Wednesdays, made a video about the episode of The Flash that aired the night before. And now that the second season of The Flash is over, I thought I'd take this week to talk about the season and a little bit about my experiences about making these videos. But first, let's talk about the season. So this season on The Flash started out really strong. I thought that it was much stronger than the first season starting out. I thought it carried a lot of the momentum they had at the end of last season. I really felt like the sophomore slump that sometimes shows will go through didn't really happen here, which is good. You don't want that to happen with your favorite show. And I thought that overall, this season was much better than the previous season overall. And that's not to say I didn't think there were weaker episodes. There were plenty of episodes that I felt like were underperforming or were weaker in terms of the main story, like the secondary story might have been better. There were a lot of really interesting villains that wound up being kind of pointless. I think Turtle is a great example of this. A really cool villain, at least in the concept of it, but just completely underwhelming. I think King Shark is another great example of this. I think the second time King Shark came on, that episode was a really good episode, but could you tell me one thing that happened in that episode that wasn't the ending? This season actually seemed to have either a bigger budget or they were just better at special effects, because you had a lot of much better special effects. Like Grodd looked really good. I thought King Shark was pretty good. There was some cheesy stuff too. I thought Atom Smasher was kind of cheesy. Early in the finale, the fight between Zoom and Barry got a little bit like, okay, I'm clearly watching two digital doubles fight. But my biggest issue with some of these episodes was that the most important thing that happened was, you know, the very end of these episodes. At the very end of the King Shark episode, we get the reveal of who Zoom is. So many things happened at the end of episodes. And even with the finale, the way the finale ended, did any of the rest of the finale really matter when you think about it? But like I said, I still think that overall, I think the storytelling was better in terms of character development, although I do think that sometimes they were pushing one element of a story a little bit too hard. Like, okay, so for instance, Zoom. So Zoom was this guy named Hunter Solomon, just like in the comics. But he was also Jay Garrick, or at least we thought he was Jay Garrick. As it turns out, he wasn't. But that really bothered me, and I went with it, and I've thought about it, and it bothers me less and less as I started to go with it. So when you get down to it, really, the one thing I can say about the first season versus the second season was the first season, in my opinion, had a much better villain. Because we, as an audience, knew early on that Harrison Wells was not a great human being. But we also didn't know the extent of it. Whereas this season, we were led to believe that Jay Garrick was a good guy, even by Harrison Wells, who said don't trust him, but he still knew Jay Garrick as the Flash. But I don't want it to seem like that all of these episodes were just terrible. I thought that the high points of the season were Earth 2, when they traveled to Earth 2. I thought that those two episodes were probably the best episodes of the season. So that's enough about the TV show itself. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I chose to make these videos and kind of the future of where I'm going here. I made these videos because I was at a point with this channel that I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with the channel. I just needed to be able to make videos. And so forcing myself to make a video every Wednesday about that previous night's Flash seemed to be a good idea, a good way to do this. I honestly didn't think I was going to make it all the way through the season. I thought I would peter out around episode 9, episode 10. But all in all, it was a fun experience. I was able to hone my editing skills. I was able to hone my script writing skills. Of course, none of that is to say that every episode that I made was fantastic, because there were some seriously weaker videos. There were times where I really didn't know what I wanted to talk about, and so I just was like, well, I'll just start talking and see what happens. But will I continue making these videos next season? I don't know, but I can tell you they won't be here. If I do, it'll be on another channel that I will create, and maybe I'll talk about more TV. I don't know. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in come this fall. As far as the future of this channel, even though I probably won't be making Flash videos in the fall, I still will be hopefully sticking to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, just not every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. And I can tell you Mondays will be technology-based videos. So Wednesdays, where I was making these Flash videos, are now going to be more geared toward making videos like my Ducks, Ducks, Geese videos, or the food videos, or something along those lines. And then, of course, Fridays, I'm going to keep playing Ocarina of Time. And when that runs out, I have some pretty fun ideas, but it will continue to be video games on Fridays. If you watched most of these Flash videos, thank you. If you didn't watch any of them, well, please go back and watch them, because they're all really good and none of them are completely mediocre in any way, shape, or form. So you should go do that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.